The road ahead is changing, and for millions of older drivers, the journey will never quite be the same again. So stay tuned, stay informed, and if you or someone you know will be affected by these changes, make sure you take action now. And to every senior watching right now, this channel is made for you because your voices matter, your independence matters, and your right to be heard matters. Here, we bring you the news, the updates, and the tips that no one else is telling you, all focused on protecting your freedom, your safety, and your lifestyle. We fight to keep you informed before changes like this catch you off guard. So if you want a place where your concerns come first, where every story we cover is about issues that directly affect your life, then hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell, because this is your channel, your community, and together we will make sure you are never left in the dark. Don't wait until it's too late. Subscribe now and stay one step ahead, because here, it's always about you. Good evening, and we start tonight with breaking news that will directly impact millions of Americans, sparking strong reactions across the nation as a sweeping overhaul to senior driving laws is officially set to take effect on August 11, 2025, a change that lawmakers are calling a crucial step towards improving road safety, while critics are labeling it an unfair crackdown on older drivers. And as the clock ticks down to the deadline, the question on everyone's mind is whether this is about saving lives or stripping independence from those who have been behind the wheel for decades without incident. And in this extended report, we will walk you through everything that's changing, why it's happening, what it means for your freedom to drive, and what you need to do to be ready before the new rules come into force. Because whether you are over 70 yourself or have parents, grandparents, friends, or neighbors in that age group, this will touch your life in one way or another. Starting from August 11th, all drivers age 70 and above will face a far more rigorous process when it comes to renewing their licenses, and gone are the days of a quick vision test and a simple form. Under the new framework, seniors will now be required to undergo comprehensive medical evaluations covering eyesight, hearing, mobility, and reaction times, along with cognitive assessments designed to measure memory, attention, and decision-making skills. And in many states, this will be paired with an actual on-road driving test that must be passed in order to maintain an unrestricted license, something that has not been mandated on a national scale before. Officials behind the policy insist that this is not an attack on senior drivers, but a measured response to growing data that shows a rise in accident rates involving older motorists in certain states, particularly in situations involving complex traffic conditions, night driving, and rapid hazard response. And they argue that just as commercial pilots must meet strict health standards to fly safely, drivers regardless of age should be able to demonstrate that they are physically and mentally fit to operate a vehicle in today's increasingly challenging traffic environment. However, opponents say the data is being misinterpreted and that age alone is not a fair measure of driving ability, pointing out that many older drivers have spotless records, drive more cautiously than younger motorists, and are often more experienced at handling difficult road conditions, and they argue that the real causes of many accidents, distracted driving due to mobile phones, poor road maintenance, reckless speeding, and inadequate traffic enforcement, are being overlooked in favor of an easy political target. One of the most controversial aspects of the new rules is the introduction of tiered or conditional licensing for over 70s, meaning that even if a driver passes all the required tests, they may still be restricted to certain driving hours such as daylight only, or be limited to driving within a specific distance from their home, with restrictions based on the outcome of the assessments. And this has raised alarms among seniors living in rural areas where public transportation options are limited or non-existent, as losing the ability to drive long distances could cut them off from essential services, medical appointments, and family visits. Another ripple effect will be felt in the insurance industry, where providers are already signaling adjustments to premiums for senior drivers, with some older motorists expected to see significant increases in their rates, while others may face policy cancellations if they do not meet the new licensing conditions, and this is prompting growing concern about affordability, especially for retirees on fixed incomes who rely on their vehicles for daily life. Car dealerships, too, are preparing for a shift in demand, with many anticipating an increase in trade-ins as seniors move towards smaller, more maneuverable cars, equipped with advanced safety features like lane assist, collision detection, and automated braking technologies that could help them meet the stricter safety standards and maintain their driving independence, while rideshare companies such as Uber and Lyft are bracing for a surge in demand from older customers who no longer qualify for full driving privileges. Family dynamics are also expected to be affected as adult children may need to step in more often to provide transport or help navigate the new testing process. And for many families, the conversation about handing over the car keys could become a tense and emotional one, as driving is not just about mobility but also about identity, self-reliance, and dignity. State DMVs are warning that appointments for medical evaluations and driving tests are likely to fill up fast as the deadline approaches, and they are urging those affected to book early to avoid being caught in a backlog that could leave them temporarily without a valid license, which in turn could affect insurance coverage and legal driving status. The federal government has also announced that it will be monitoring the rollout closely, with the possibility of further adjustments if the changes lead to unintended consequences such as increased isolation among seniors or a surge in unlicensed driving. Advocacy groups for older Americans are already mobilizing, calling for exemptions for those with clean records, more accessible testing centers, and expanded funding for alternative transportation solutions, while safety campaigners are applauding the move, insisting that the risks on today's roads demand nothing less than rigorous safety checks for all drivers, regardless of age. For now, the message from officials is clear: if you are 70 or older, you need to prepare now by scheduling your medical and cognitive assessments, ensuring your vision and hearing meet the required standards, and, if necessary, brushing up on your driving skills ahead of the on-road test. Because come August 11th, failing to meet the new requirements could mean losing your ability to drive altogether. This is not just a story about rules and regulations, it is about the changing face of mobility in America, the balance between safety and independence, and the ways in which an aging population will adapt to a more tightly regulated driving environment. We will continue to track this story in the days and weeks ahead, bringing you updates from lawmakers, road safety experts, senior advocacy groups, and everyday drivers navigating the new system, because as this policy takes effect, it will spark debates in living rooms, community halls, and legislative chambers across the country. The road ahead is changing, and for millions of older drivers, the journey will never quite be the same again. So stay tuned, stay informed, and if you or someone you know will be affected by these changes, make sure you take action now. And remember, this is one story where being ready could make all the difference between keeping your keys and handing them over for good. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay with us as we bring you every development in America's driving law shakeup. Because August 11th is coming fast, and with it, a new chapter in how this country's seniors get from A to B.